On size and practicality, Skoda often swoops in and demolishes its Volkswagen Group rivals VW, Sedan and Audi. The Skoda Octavia is among the best specimens of this. Although it costs less to buy, this family car is larger than a Volkswagen Golf, Seat Leon, Mercedes A-Class, Audi A3 or BMW 1 Series. Although this Skoda Octavia is entirely modern, it is nevertheless quite obviously an Octavia. Though the terrible dual headlights of the old car have been deleted for a pair of slimline LEDs, up front you get the same unique grille, albeit bluffer than before. Even on non-DRS models, the crease running down the side of the car gives the car more commanding appearance, resembling shoulder pads in a suit jacket from the 1980s. You can have wheels ranging in size from 19 inches. Crystal-style back LEDs finish the new design. Long since, Skoda has worked out what its drivers want from their vehicles, and the Octavia provides exact delivery. The Octavia's narrow-turning circle helps to make a huge car that doesn't seem that big from behind the steering wheel quite wieldy in close city streets. This nimbleness also evident in the simplicity of parking the Octavia. Even the apparently large estate model is a dawdle to back into tight bays. Whether you choose the hatch or estate, all-round visibility is good in every Octavia. You also get rear parking sensors with all models. Though it can seem a touch wallowy if you get one drop after another in close succession, the Skoda suspension is decent for absorbing uneven roads in town. Still, it is more than sufficient for this kind of vehicle. Though it can seem just a little abrupt when pulling out of crossroads, the engines pull nicely at low speeds and the automatic gearbox is usually really smooth. Inside, the Octavia boasts well-formed front seats and treats the driver with lumbar and height adjustability. Apart from the two-way steering wheel adjustment and the amount of fore and aft flexibility, the Octavia driver is looked for fairly nicely. Which trim level you choose will determine the infotainment system you find standard on the Skoda Octavia. Skoda terms the 10-inch infotainment touchscreen of the SE versions as the Bolero setup. It includes voice control as well as all the tools you require, including a wireless connection for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. The integrated sat-nav included with the SEL and VRS as standard in its Columbus system is the sole item lacking from the infotainment of the SE. This isn't quite a deal killer given many people utilize the navigation via an app on their phones. The Skoda's infotainment replaces nearly all of the center console buttons, same as most Volkswagen Group vehicles today. Though that is the case, there are still a few physical buttons for things like the hazard lights, central locking, and heated screen. Good and bad, everything else is worked through the infotainment display. Good because the Skoda screen responds to your finger inputs really quickly, negative due of its somewhat gloomy display. Though you do have on-screen sliders to adjust the cabin temperature, it is also not fantastic when you have to make multiple inputs merely to modify the fan speed of the air conditioning. Even then, they can be difficult to operate while driving, hence Skoda still has some more work ahead of them. Another important distinction between the SE and later trims is the entry point model uses a basic digital display for its major dials instead of the virtual cockpit utilized in the SEL and VRS. This adds little over £500 to the SE's cost. All variants stick with wireless phone charging as an optional extra. The virtual cockpit lets you maximize the sat-nav display and set the screen to show the primary dials in varying diameters and configurations. For the SEL and VRS, a head-up display showing onto the windscreen in the driver's line of sight is available.